Getting through this second Trump term and the aftermath is going to be a hot mess. What people are going through right now because of the shutdown, the cut of funding, the cuts of the social safety nets, all of the Doge firings, the private sector layoffs, all of the furloughs, the people that have to go to work as essential workers even though they're not getting paid. It's going to be rough out there. This is an article that just dropped from the Washington Post. This is just talking about the shutdown right now. It says, after a month of the shutdown, workers face mounting bills and car repossessions. People are losing their cars. They're probably going to lose their houses too. Foreclosures are about to hit hard. It's ugly right now. Let's look at this article. It says the government has been closed for a full month, and federal workers who had missed 2 paychecks are now using credit cards to pay their bills, visiting food pantries to stock their kitchens, and reviewing their bank accounts, plotting exactly how long they can manage without a salary. The answer is not much longer for Cynthia Brown, a government publishing office staffer who has been working without pay. The 53-year-old says she is barely eating, subsisting on coffee and protein shakes. She's already sold everything she could find in her house, including 2 old iPhones, and started a GoFundMe to help cover her expenses. She had hoped to drive for DoorDash to supplement her income, but her car was repossessed after she missed a loan deadline because of the shutdown. Brown spends her days ensuring that the government keeps a record of congressional proceedings, so she has closely followed the debate around reopening, and that has only made her situation and the nation's feel more dire, she said. It is going nowhere. That is what scares me. They are not making any progress. Starting to cry, Brown added, they hate each other so much, and we are just caught in the middle. Federal funds ran out October 1st after lawmakers failed to approve an extension as Democrats and Republicans clashed over healthcare policy. Democratic lawmakers want to extend subsidies for the ACA health insurance plans before they will agree to reopen the government. Republicans say they won't negotiate on healthcare until the government has reopened. Starting this weekend, the impasse will also generate direct consequences for millions of Americans who rely on federal food stamps or send their children to government-funded health and education programs for low-income families. Money for both initiatives, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, and Head Start, was supposed to go out on November 1st, but the Trump administration says the shutdown means payments cannot be made because they are some freaking liars. 2 federal courts ruled Friday that officials must make at least partial payments, but the exact timing isn't clear. Without SNAP, federal worker Clarissa Browning isn't sure what she'll do. A Social Security claims specialist in Sacramento and an AFGE Local 3172 union representative, Browning said her disabled sister and daughter live with her and they rely on food stamps. She was already scraping to pay for groceries. Her husband was recently laid off, and now her household will have no way to pay for food. It's a double blow, Browning said. We've tapped out of everything we have. Of the nation's 2.1 million federal workers, more than 750,000 have been furloughed, sent home without pay for a full month. Hundreds of thousands more are working without a salary, even as Trump has found ways to pay some law enforcement agencies and active duty military personnel. ICE agents are still getting paid. Adding to some workers' anxiety, the administration is threatening to deprive furloughed staffers of back pay, even though Trump signed a 2019 law during his first term guaranteeing it after the last shutdown. James Kerwin, 31, is among those who could be at risk. He has been furloughed from his job as a lawyer at the National Labor Relations Board since the shutdown began. Facing mounting utility bills, food expenses, rent, and $160,000 in student loans, Kerwin recently canceled a trip to Chicago for a close cousin's wedding. I could probably go through another couple of weeks before I'm going to have to take on serious credit card debt, serious loans, he said. Still, Kerwin says he feels lucky. Many federal workers are in far more precarious positions. About 1/6 of the federal workforce in the executive branch makes less than the median national salary of about $62,000, according to a Washington Post analysis of available federal data. The Federal Employee Education and Assistance Fund, a nonprofit that was offering $150 micro grants to federal workers since their first paycheck halted, said it was forced to stop accepting applications this week. The group had received more than 10,000 requests and was nearing its funding limit of $1 million, it said. Most people who applied for grants were still working without pay, said Robin Kehoe, the group's executive director, and many were using money for groceries. The average salary of those who got help was over $50,000, Kehoe said. Like many of their fellow Americans, these workers live paycheck to paycheck, and they cannot keep up with their basic living needs right now. One Social Security staffer in the Northeast noted that her family of 5, 3 children, and a spouse is almost wholly reliant on her roughly $100,000 income. The staffer, like others interviewed for this article, spoke on the condition of anonymity for fear of retribution. Her husband has a job, but it pays far less than her government position, she said. Her salary is what enabled the family to afford an apartment. As she keeps working without pay, she has begun using credit cards to pay her bills. She is buying only the cheapest groceries, no meat, mostly frozen dinners and frozen pizza. Her family recently sat down for a dismal discussion at which she informed the children that they wouldn't be doing much of anything for Thanksgiving and that Christmas would bring exactly 1 gift per person. This week, without her asking, a kind cousin sent her a check representing about a week's worth of pay, she said. Until that arrived, she had no idea how she was going to pay her October rent. I don't know what I'll do next month, she said, adding that for the past few days, she has spent most of her non-working hours sleeping or crying. Usually, I am the kind of person who will have backup plans, and right now there isn't one. I am so scared. In some workplaces, employees are banding together to help one another. At the Social Security field office in Albany, New York, workers set up a makeshift donation table to share household supplies, said Jessica Sweet, a claims specialist and union representative for AFGE Local 3343. Among the recent offerings were mac and cheese, oatmeal, and canned soup, she said, along with a sheet of paper that workers can fill out to anonymously request necessities. We're trying to support each other through all of this, she said, noting that some colleagues are considering leaving civil service altogether. It's getting scary. Sweet herself has stopped buying meat and switched out fresh produce for frozen vegetables. As the shutdown stretches on, she is wondering whether she should apply for a gig job that she can work nights. But other union members, she said, are warning that it's hard to find businesses willing to hire federal workers who will probably quit once the government reopens. In Kansas City, a furloughed employee of the Department of Housing and Urban Development is casting around for a second job. He and his wife have stopped eating out, canceled their streaming services, and nixed all travel or driving that isn't necessary, he said. Still, he had to dip into his savings to pay rent last month, and he's scrambling to find another source of income to avoid draining down everything they'd socked away. He has applied to a driver delivery service called Roadie, he said, and to a nearby shop that sells sports gear. I will do pretty much anything I need to support me and my wife, he said. I will work retail, drive for Uber, work at a grocery store for a little bit if I have to. Some federal workers are still looking out for others despite the crunch. A lot of people are going to be going hungry, said Charlotte Slayman, an antitrust attorney at the Federal Trade Commission who has been furloughed for all of October. Like other federal workers interviewed for this article, Slayman says she was speaking in her personal capacity. Worried about so many people in the D.C. region facing financial pressures, Slayman and her 17-month-old daughter arrived Thursday at a SNAP benefits protest outside the Agricultural Department carrying donations for local food banks, cans of black beans and crushed tomatoes, tortillas, chicken stock, and a bag of rolled oats. She also made a $100 donation to the Capital Area Food Bank. It's a drop in the bucket, she said, but she wanted to help. Therapy sessions have helped one furloughed State Department staffer and his unemployed wife. Like many others, the couple have shaved off every expense they could, and they're now using their savings to support their 2 children, one in daycare and one in kindergarten. The constant background worry about money and his job, the staffer said, has left him and his wife feeling grumpy. Sometimes that boils into fights about nothing. But the therapist is helping with that. The couple is learning to take a breath, to recognize that our worries are due to things that are out of our control, not each other, he said. But at the last therapy session, the staffer came to an uncomfortable realization. He probably couldn't afford the treatment much longer. I kind of need to cut that soon, he said. I warned the therapist. So as you listen to that, you see that people are cutting out every single thing that they possibly can. So this is not just impacting their personal home or apartment. It's going to impact streaming services. It's going to impact travel. It's going to impact all of the holiday season, because these people don't know what their life is going to be like. So the holidays, so all companies are going to be impacted by this. The grocery stores are going to be impacted by this because people use their SNAP benefits and they go to the grocery store. This is going to impact the grocery stores. And what that means, all of those employees are going to be impacted. This is not just going to be a ripple effect. This is going to be much bigger than that. There's going to be so many foreclosures. There's going to be so many people that are getting their cars towed. Just last month at my apartment complex, on the 5th or the 6th of the month, we saw so many notices in our apartment complexes of people getting evicted. We saw yellow stickers because people were about to get their cars towed. It is getting ugly out there. And I don't even know if these people are federal employees or not. I just know that the economy is jacked up right now. So here in Las Vegas, we're a tourist town. So many towns like the city that I live in, if they are a tourist town, they're going to feel this because everything's about to contract. Oh, and let's not forget the essential employees that are the flight people, the TSA people, the people that got to sit in the towers. Those are essential people. Those people are all going to work. It costs money to drive. It costs money to eat and make your lunches and everything. Those people are really going to be jacked up. And the people that think that they're going to fly, some people are still going to fly. Imagine what holiday travel is going to be like. All right, so this article from Fortune. Airlines plead for an end of the government shutdown as unpaid air traffic controllers prepare for busy holiday travel. Think about traveling with these people not getting paid. So many people are calling off work. So many people can't even get to work because they don't have any money. They are overworked because they are tired and picking up shifts because of the people that can't come into work. It's about to get ugly and messy and dangerous as well. Aviation industry leaders are urging Congress to end the shutdown out of concern for the well-being of air traffic controllers working without pay, as well as on air travel ahead of a busy holiday season. It's putting stress on people. It's not fair to those people. It's also putting stress on the economy. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby told reporters outside of the White House on Thursday, airlines are a pretty good real-time indicator of the economy, and we start to see, still minor, but steep booking impact. And you see that happening in the economy. We put the whole economy at risk. I can tell by this paragraph right here that he is a Republican. Kirby called for a bipartisan agreement on a clean continuing resolution to reopen the government. That is pretty much what the MAGA Republicans are saying. He, as well as industry leaders like Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy and Chris Sununu, the former Republican governor of New Hampshire and current CEO of industry trade groups Airlines for America, met with VP JD Vance, or Just Dance Vance, on Thursday to discuss the impact on the government shutdown on aviation. American Airlines confirmed to Fortune that CEO Robert Isom was in attendance at the Thursday meeting. The airline said air traffic controllers working without pay was unacceptable. Congress needs to reach a bipartisan agreement to reopen the government as quickly as possible to pay our air traffic controller, Transportation Secretary Administration, and Customs and Border Protection colleagues, the airline told Fortune in a statement. The quickest way to end this shutdown and to get these workers paid is by passing a clean continuing resolution. A prolonged shutdown will lead to more delays and cancellations, and the American people, especially during the busy holiday season, deserve better. At some point, these Republicans are going to actually do politics, meaning they're going to have to negotiate with the Democrats. The Democrats are worried about these people getting paid. That is absolutely true. But they are still worried about people that are not going to be able to afford their healthcare premiums and are getting kicked off and all of that. So they're going to have to talk to the Democrats, which they have not. They said that they are not negotiating with Democrats. So they got these people that are speaking the language of Republicans. These Republicans are using the exact same talking points. But at what point will they come together and talk to Democrats and actually do politics? In the meantime, though, Donald Trump is having a great Gatsby party. They're partying like it's 1929. And what happened in 1929? The Great Depression. I do believe that Donald Trump is trying to push us into the greatest depression, or the Great Depression 2.0. That seems like what he is trying to do. And he's doing a pretty bang up job so far. He is taking us there. I know that we have got to be in a recession based on data points right now, but we will see if we hit this Great Depression sometime soon. Y'all go ahead and chime in and let me know what you think about this one.